Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Weishuhn. If you enjoy real-world hunting and fishing talk, you're really going to enjoy listening to my good friend, Luke Clayton, and his guest for the next hour.
This is David Fox, and welcome to Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Luke has been a recognized outdoors writer for the past 3 decades and writes for a host of outdoor publications. Luke pens a weekly newspaper outdoors column that appears in over 40 Texas newspapers. Luke is on the pro staff of Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air gun related. Smoking techs, electric smokers, feel free to contact Luke through his website, catfishradio.org. Now let's join Luke and his guests for this week's show.
Well, folks, Happy New Year. It is your old buddy Luke Clayton and my longtime great friend Larry Weishuhn. We're here with you. We're going to start the new year off with a bang. Literally, hopefully, Larry, hunting. Oh, Happy New Year, Larry.
Happy New Year to you and all the folks out there who happen to be listening to us today, regardless whether it's on the radio or, later on the podcast. But you're right. We're off to a new year. I'm getting ready to head to the Choctaw for the Choctaw Hunting Lodge for a quick hunt, more of a hosted hunt than anything else. Mr. Steve Hornady, whose family owns Hornady Ammo. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, Steve bought a hunt at our DSC Foundation gala that we had this spring, or last summer, I guess, now. And it's for a buffalo up on the Choctaw. So Steve's going to come up there. We're going to meet him there. Actually, we got Jeff Rice coming in as well, too, to film that hunt. But going to be a great time. And with all that said, I need to thank not only Steve Hornady, but the entire Hornady family and the company as well for being a sponsor on this particular podcast and this particular radio show that I do with you for many, many years. They're accurate, deadly, dependable, and no doubt about it. Of course, also, I mentioned DSC and the DSC Foundation. DSC is, to me, the greatest organization there is conservation-wise, and people learn more about it when by going to biggame.org. And also, that said, we need to remind people that I think it's February 6th, 7th, and 8th is the DSC convention in Atlanta, Georgia. So, we got a bunch of folks going there and hopefully have a whole lot more folks going there. But a lot of good stuff going on. We'll talk about some of these other sponsors down the way a little bit.
You bet you like Stealth Vision. How about that? You're not gonna find a better scope than Stealth Vision. We both use those, and just have to brag on these people. I mean, my gosh, it's not just stuff we've read about. We use this stuff
on a daily basis. Actually, when you get right down to it.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time hunting here as of late, and we're getting ready to to do some doe hunts here before too very long. And I think what I'm going to do on these doe hunts this year is that you and I are doing on the Cotton and Ranch or the Choctaw or wherever else it is we're going to be hunting whitetail does. This late part of the hunt, I guess, in hunting season. I'm going to be shooting a lot of my Taurus Raging Hunter pistols. I know you're probably going to do some muzzleloader hunting, and so I think if I'll do the pistol side of thing or the handgun side of thing, we'll pretty much cover a lot of bases. And I know you're going to do some air rifle shooting of does as well too. So there's still some good hunting coming up here in January and February if you happen to live in Texas.
You bet. And I've got a new CVA. It's the Cascade. I have the longer barrel that we have that you were there when Joe Cunningham put that great Stealth Vision scope on it. But they've got a shorter barrel model of the Cascade that I really like. A shorter barrel. That's a long range shooting machine. You know that. You've seen it. But I'm anxious. Hopefully take some late season game with that too. Got so many options to shoot, just have to decide which one I'm going to use each time. But I'm anxious to get. I've never owned a 308. I have shot the M14 a bunch back in the day, but I've never owned a 308. Same cartridge. I guess.
It is.
Same thing. But I'm anxious to do that. It's a good caliber 308. I know the ballistics on it, and I've read all about it. it's dang close to an .6, isn't it, Larry? Pretty much, you know.
It is very close. Actually, when Thompson Center first came out with the Encore, I shot the first things with it, and I shot a moose with it in Maine, shot a moose with it in Colorado, and shot an elk with it in Colorado as well too. And that was in a 308. Of course, using Hornady ammo, but to me, that 308 is a fantastic all-around round. And you know, people use it for long range, and you can. I think there are probably a little bit better rounds out there if you're going to try to shoot long range. And I'm talking about shooting at steel, not so much at animals, but that is a great little round. To me, that's one of the first real deer rifles I owned outside of a 30-30 was a 308. And
is that right?
Animals with it a long, long time ago, going back, oh my God, several lifetimes for some people.
I know. Yeah.
But you know, it's that is an excellent round, and with the options that you have of the Hornady ammo and the 308, there is nothing on this continent that you can't take with that particular round.
That's right. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to. It's something. Well, for the masses. Most people, I think, have probably shot on 308s. For some reason, I just never have. But I'm excited about it. So yes, that will collect some venison. I've got a buck up at Coues right now. Coues Game Processing. They're in Dallas.
Yes.
Getting us some treats made for when we get together to have some of the good sausages and all that kind of stuff to breakfast and lunch and dinner for that matter. So I was happy to I was a little late in collecting venison this year, but I was glad to get that venison and hope to put honestly I have plans for maybe 3 more doe, you know, to put in the freezer, 3 more doe and that'll make a bunch of good meat that we can. One good use of it will be when we're all together at camp. You know, bring some of it and chicken fry it and smother it and cook it all up. So, yeah, that's going to be up at the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, and I like to brag about them too a lot. ChoctawHuntingLodge.com, folks. That's where Larry's talking about. They've got an estate hunt. High fence, yes.
Right.
A little over 1,000 acres, I think, but it is. I have a feeling some of those critters never. It's mountainous, it's hilly, it's the terrain is broken up, creek bottoms, little we call them mini mountains. 1,000 acres in that country is a lot of land, Larry, and it's a challenging hunt because I've been there. We've hunted together and separately. It's people need to know about the Choctaw Hunting Lodge. Dusty and Nicole. Dusty's the manager, and Nicole's she runs. It's Dusty Kids. His wife runs the show, but she does a great job. The food and scheduling and Dusty is an awesome guide. I'll tell you about Dusty Vickery. I really got to know him when we were stalking oryx. The oryx did not come to the feeders. No. Folks, Larry was with me, and I got behind Dusty with a rifle, and we were gonna try to put a stalk on these a herd of oryxes. I don't know, there was 10 or 12 of them, and very wild. These rascals were wary. They stayed in a tight group, but I followed him. That rascal is a hunter. You know that, Larry, but Dusty is a hunter. I was watching him, and I had no. You know, people would have to look far and wide to find a guide more knowledgeable than Dusty Vickery up there. But so there's my plug for the Choctaw Hunting Lodge. Go see them, folks. You'll if you ever get up there, you'll it won't be your last time. I can almost guarantee it, Larry. You know.
I've often said it's one of my favorite places on earth. I've got about 3 or 4 of those, but it really is. And in mentioning that, the DSC chapter in Oklahoma, I think, is going to be held in their annual auction and fundraiser. And there's going to be a hunt in that auction where I'm going to host a hunt. We're still kicking back and forth what the animal's going to be, or it may be multiple animals. Yep. We're not real sure yet. I'm donating a 7 PRC rifle and a little bit of ammo along with that as well, thanks to the Hornady company and family. And as that becomes available, I think you're going to be able to bid on it online. Matter of fact, I know you are on online hunting auctions. So that's going to be a fabulous hunt just in itself. And like I said, we have not yet really decided what all is going to be included in that ticket or that auction item, but that's a great way to not only experience a fabulous hunt, we'll have a great time, I can promise you, but you can also contribute that way to wildlife conservation, because the cool thing about the DSC chapters is that as opposed to anything out there, their major fundraiser, they get to keep 75% of their profits to determine what they're going to do with it. 20% goes to the DSC Foundation to grant to different organizations and different efforts, but that local chapter still determines where that money goes. So essentially 95% of the dollars that they raise on that one auction, their top fundraiser, if they have a second one, they get to keep it all, but 95% of it on that top one, they determine where it goes, and only 5% of it goes to DSC proper, and that's to help guys out like Bruce Borofsky and Mike Hufstadter, who are people who go around and work with the chapters and set them up. So that's going to come up as well too, not just the DSC convention there in Atlanta, which is going to be an absolutely great time to spend time with a lot of different folks and see some of the most fantastic hunting exhibits that you can ever imagine. Hunting trips, fishing trips, guns, gosh, they got it all, and they got the best.
There is no question about that, Larry. No question about it. We're the tail end of the general hunting season is at hand. It's our wonderful radio stations. This is the I think the 3rd of January show.
Yes, right.
And then we've got muzzleloader season coming up, but there's also a lot of ranches on the managed land program with permits. So hunting is allowed in Texas on these particular ranches, and there's a bunch of them. The ranches are given X number of buck tags and X number of doe tags. So hunting is going to be going on for, till the end of February. So
that's right.
Any tips, Larry? We've got enough time to a tip for late season deer hunters. From now on, as far as patterning deer, finding deer, what would you say number one tip would be, Larry?
My number one tip is go hunting.
I knew that was coming.
To not go hunting because it's raining, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too this. Go hunt. But you're right. We're coming out of the rut, and most of these animals are in absolutely great shape across the areas that I've been able to hunt, not just in Texas but elsewhere. And so it should be set up for a really good year next year in terms of antlers. But food becomes a primary reason for those animals to move at this point. There may be in some areas of the country, talking about the USA particularly, some areas where the rut doesn't really kick in until in January, in the early February. But food sources, in those areas where we've had acorns, thankfully, I guess we're finally out of acorns and between wild hog population, deer and squirrels, and all those other kind of things. So to me, the food plots, the green fields that are out there, any substantial amount of food that's available for those animals, you're going to find them pretty close to there, because the bucks are trying to repair from the rut, the does are trying to grow fetuses. So when you get right down to it, food is paramount. Don't forget water, because in some areas too, I know we have a lot of friends, and we do a lot of hunting in East Texas, or eastern habitat kind of thing. There's a fair amount of water, but still, water sources are also a great place to find those animals. But food is probably primary.
Food and water. Good tips, Larry. And again, we're into the new year. We're excited. Hope everyone has a great year. And you and I will be right back here together this time next week, won't we?
Oh, yes, we will, and I can't wait.
Folks, I want to introduce you to Vineyard Max. Now, this is an awesome deer attractant, a food attractant that's made with hammer-milled grape skin, dried hammer-milled grape skins. It has a mixture of rice bran and also corn chops. Very effective. Deer can smell the scent of grapes from a long way, and it brings them in. I've used it in West Texas out with Larry Weishuhn, and We were out there where deer are not even exposed to grapes, and they came right in. Also, Vineyard Max has a very good line of game and fish feeders. Check them out online, vineyardmax.net. Well, friends, Mr. Larry Weishuhn is going to tell you about the finest hunting optics that we have ever found.
Look, these are called Stealth Vision. They come from Crockett, Texas. Dr. John McCall developed them. They're 34 millimeter tubes as opposed to the narrower tubes, so more light transmission. They have a little green light that comes on when that scope is level, because that's when you want to pull the trigger. They have an optional lighted reticle as well too, and a whole lot of other products. And folks can learn more about them by going to stealthvision.com.
Folks, this segment is made possible by Smoking Tex electric smokers that I've been using a long, long time. I want to tell you about a one-stop shop for everything related to game feeders and fish feeders, Ultramatic feeders. I've been using components and feeders from Ultramatic feeders for 20-something years, I guess. They have the remote, which you can remotely activate your feeder with, the timer, which is the most simple timer that I've ever found on a game feeder, and then the eliminator. Check these out. They are worked on actually on centrifugal force, and they seal off the corn supply so coons and squirrels can't get to the corn. Check them out. Ultramatic feeders, you could go online to ultramaticfeeders.com. Well, friends, what do you say we go to Sonora? Nope, not Sonora, Texas. Sonora, Mexico, way down in Mexico, and visit with a new friend of mine, Mr. Wade Derby. I bet some of you, maybe many of you have heard of is Crosshairs Consulting. Wade makes his living putting people on good places to go hunt and fish all over the globe. Wade, thank you for being with us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I know you have. I've been keeping up with you thanks to Facebook and text and all that. You've been down in Sonora. Every time I think about the area that you're in, I don't know why it's just ingrained in my brain. I'm a big Jack O'Connor fan, and I think about that short story he wrote. It's called "We Shot Tamales," and I think about that. And it was about a poor Mexican family where he was hunting that didn't have anything for Christmas, and they bought some groceries, brought some groceries with them, and stayed in an old chicken house, turned it into a little camp. But that's the part of the world that you're in, right? Down in that area.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is.
How far would you think you are? Have any idea? I mean, you're like miles from the nearest improved road, aren't you?
I'm 4 hours from the main highway, and that main highway goes north up into Nogales and then into Tucson.
Yes, okay. Well, so what have you been up to? I know a lot of this. Talk about the deer first, the deer hunt.
Yeah, I've been down here since the day after Christmas, and been looking at a couple of new ranches that I want to see the viability of working together and sending clients down. One was with a long-established outfitter family that I've worked with that's got some new ground, and then I'm now with a new outfitter. Completely new outfitter, but we've done a combination of Coues Deer hunting and Mule Deer hunting, and a little bit of sidelight like javelina and what have you. But yeah, the predominant focus is that. We did do 2 desert bighorn sheep hunts right after Christmas down here as well, because I offer those.
Desert bighorn. Well, I'm an old deer hunter from way back, but the deer. I think I saw a picture of what I considered a giant Coues deer. I don't. Tell us about the Coues deer first.
Yeah, I mean the Coues. Those I refer to them as Jack O'Connor's deer. I was always a fan growing up. A lot of influence from just reading his work. Yeah. Probably one of my favorite deer in North America. The hunt was a little slow. We had rain. They've had excessive amounts of rain in certain areas of Sonora this year, and so setting water holes and the viability of doing that was different. than usual.
Mm-hmm.
We had to change tactics, so we hunted mostly from high racks, or we got up on top of high points and glassed down into the arroyos and what have you. But I did manage to get a decent Coues, probably not my biggest, but he was in the mid 90s. I think book on a Coues all time book is 110, and then for those that follow Boone and Crockett, and I think awards is 100. But I'm not a big record book guy. It was a really nice representative deer.
That's it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I've been hunting deer for all my life, and to me, right now, I kid our friend Larry Weishuhn a lot. We were hunting together about 4 days ago in Kaufman County, of all places, which is east of Dallas a little bit. But I tell him these days all I'm looking for, if it's a buck, is a grown buck, And I just honestly, I've killed some nice deer, but I just soon kill an old non-typical something. Just it's the hunt for me, and I feel like that's a big part of it for you too. But you do represent outfitters all over the globe. I'm sure that people, if they want to, they're looking for a big trophy. Well, I mean, that's what you do. The interesting part to me, folks, is Wade. If you wanted to book a hunt wherever, Canada, Mexico, I'm sure many other places, it's not just a website. I mean, you've been there, Wade, and I think that's the advantage of dealing with a reputable person like yourself. I mean, you can tell them from firsthand experience about these places, can't you?
Yeah, I can, and that's why even though I've been down to Sonora multiple times over the last 30 years, here I am doing another experimental hunt or research hunt is what I call them. It's important because times change, outfitters change, land ownership changes, the animal populations change, so you've got to kind of keep your information fresh. So I'm always trying to do that.
Now it's kind of like in a way, like people say, Luke, all you do is hunt and fish. And, well, there's a little bit more to it than that. And writing about it and the TV shows we do, it's a lifestyle. I won't say it's not fun. I thoroughly enjoy my little part of the outdoor world. And I know you must. You've probably, I'm sure, you sent me a picture of a big Russian boar, European boar. I think that was from... was it Poland? Where did you shoot that giant one?
That was a customer of mine, but it was in Romania.
Romania, that's right. That's where it was. And that thing looked. I'm doing an article for Fur Fishing Game on big boar I have known, and I've already asked your permission to run that picture. But
sure.
I think that was you with the showing behind the boar, correct? Or maybe,
correct.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Well, so got a nice Coues deer. Now, mule deer. Tell us about the mule deer. How the hunting went, or I know you had a chance to do some of that, right?
Yeah, no, we're doing it now. It's still in progress.
Yep.
One of the gentlemen with me had kind of a life goal to take a big mule deer with a bow, which is probably one of the toughest tasks I can think of down here, and especially when I can't sit over water with them.
Yes.
He managed to get it done last night. I'll post some pictures here later today. My Wi-Fi connectivity down here where I'm at is off of Starlink, and I can only do it when I'm near the ranch house. That's how we get time to chat. But no, he took a nice buck. I've seen a number of good up-and-coming deer. I'm targeting trying to get an old buck that is going downhill. I don't really care what he scores again. To me, the trophy is the age of the deer and, what have you. And I'd rather, if I go home empty-handed because I let some young deer go to grow up, I'm good with that. But, we've gotten a couple. And on this ranch and then on the ranch last week, we did take a management buck and we took a trophy buck. And we do classify those that way because we're trying to do quality management on the ranches.
Yep. Back to Jack O'Connor, the quail. Back in that day, I don't know if they were blue quail or I'm not sure what type quail that he was. Or how about the quail numbers down in Sonora down in there? Are there still quite a few, or have you seen any?
Yeah, I've seen a combination of gamble quail and blue quail here, and then we were up in the high country the other day, and I did see some Mearns quail, which are kind of cool. They call them harlequins or butterballs.
They have that little top knot, I think. I've never seen a wild one.
The gamble quail have a little top knot like the California Valley quail. They're just a different color, and they've got a really distinctive call that sounds like they're laughing at you, kind of.
Yeah. If I was shooting at them, they probably would be laughing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wade. Go ahead.
No. The quail populations are good. What's been amazing down here this year, I mean, I always see doves, and of course, Mexico's known for doves. Even when I was a kid living in Arizona, we used to come across the border off the Ajo Road and hunt the fields. The dove numbers are just off the hook down here. In fact, I just talked to this outfitter who doesn't do any dove hunting and said, you really should consider at least a small amount of your time being dedicated to this resource, because it's just amazing, the numbers. And I'm seeing, we're not overrun down here with ringneck doves like, the invasive ones. Mm-hmm. These are mourning doves, some white wings, and even the little Inca dove are down here. Yeah, been just amazing. There's good water, so the birds are just, they're in their roosts. But seems like everywhere we're going deer hunting, we're jumping up doves, and they're kind of screwing up some of our stocks. There's so many.
Yeah. Well, for many years, you've probably heard of this place. It was an Orvis endorsed wing shooting place called Rancho Caracol. And the Pugino family out of South Texas owned it. Mm-hmm. And Bob Hood, who was the outdoor editor for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Bob and I were great friends. Bob passed away, I don't know, a decade ago, but we went down to Rancho Caracol many times, and there's supposedly the largest number of nesting white wings near Lake Guerrero down there. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's never been in Mexico to shoot white wings that loves to wing shoot, I've told them. But the only thing about that area now, it's about 200 miles south of the border. But I know it's all had all the bad press because of problems. But Rancho Caracol, I wish they could get back in action down there, because that was a top-notch place. And I'm sure you probably, well, that might be a good thing, because I know, from the big game hunting, I bet you would have a lot of people interested in getting back down into Mexico and finding a good place for dove. I bet it would be a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, doves specifically are, sometimes guys get fortunate and they tag out early. And I've been talking to the outfitter about having, some shotguns on hand. Firearms laws are a little bit different here in Mexico. So there's a few hoops to jump through. I mean, bringing your own's no problem, but if you're down here borrowing one, the ranches have to be licensed with them. But
I got you.
It's definitely not impossible to do. And it's done all the time, but it would be nice just to be able to even just get done deer hunting and go enjoy an evening over a water hole.
You bet. Wade, we need to take a break here. And, folks, we're going to be back. One segment is not enough with Mr. Derby. I've got too many questions. So will you stick with me, and we'll take a quick break and be right back. How about that, Wade?
Happy to do it. Thank you.
Folks, let's talk a little outdoor cooking. Let me tell you about an electric smoker that I've been using for 15 years, I guess. Smoking Tex electric smokers. If you're tired of staying up all night keeping that wood fire burning when you're barbecuing, give Smoking Tex a try. They're made to last a lifetime. You can check them out at smokingtex.com. That's SMOKINTEX.com. For seasonings, anything to do with outdoor cooking, all kind of jerky seasonings, sausage seasonings, Butcher Packer Supply. That's butcherpackersupply.com. I think the website is butcher-packer.com.
Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92 with George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy too. They crossed the
Friends, this segment is made possible by Platinum Cadillac and Chevrolet in Terrell, Texas. Stop by and visit with my buddy, Mr. Justin Rudd, and his team of experts, and let them put you in a new Chevy pickup or a Cadillac or whatever you might be in the market for. Also, the Choctaw Hunting Lodge up in southeast Oklahoma. Check them out at ChoctawHuntingLodge.com. Also made possible by Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything airgun related. Well, friends, we are back with Mr. Wade Derby, and we were talking about Coues deer and mule deer. I love to hunt javelinas, and I'll go out on a limb. Some people are going to want to raise some hackles here, but I like to eat them too. Wade, you guys hunted javelina just yesterday, right?
We did. We took a really, really cool old boar.
Yeah.
You know, he's silver, and he was probably, we don't have a scale out here, probably one of the heavier javelinas I've seen in a long time. I bet he was right there at 50 pounds. Good long tusks, and definitely one that had some age on him.
I haven't killed that many javelina in my life, maybe 10 to be honest with you. The first one, though, I was down in Webb County, and I was probably an old East Texas kid. I was probably 25. I shot one that weighed 53 pounds, and I didn't have a clue. I was used to wild hogs, and the old guy down there, he didn't get him too excited, but he said, yeah, it's one of the biggest we've had lately, But they don't get real big. I guess probably a 60-pounder would be a monster in javelina, wouldn't it,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they don't hardly get that big. Out of curiosity, eating javelina, have you, I'm sure in your life you probably had some javelina, right?
Yeah, I grew up part of my life in Arizona. And
oh, yeah.
Javelina season was a ritual and a tradition. And now the way I like to eat javelina is to slow cook them in like a crock pot, and do like almost like a pulled pork, even though javelina isn't pork, but pulled pork type sandwich with barbecue. Open faced, man, it's the best thing.
Gotta be. What I do, I take them and they're a lean. Usually they're lean, and to me they taste somewhere between feral hog, wild hog, and venison. They really do. I don't know. That's just the flavor that I get out of them. But I'll take them and clean them up, season them with whatever dry seasoning, put a little olive oil on them, smoke them. I've got a electric smoker, a smoking Tex, and I'll smoke them for about couple of hours, and then you have to have that moisture, that olive oil in there. Wrap them up tight and let them cook till they fall off the bone tender, and then put fajita seasoning on them in a skillet, and they make pretty good, really tasty fajitas too. But okay, so javelina, we've covered that. What's left? You're at your second ranch that you're, I'll just say, scoping out, that you're checking out. You have some more mule deer hunting to do before you come back home?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be, going out here as soon as we're done. I'm going to go back out and hunt till the evening and see. I still have a mule deer tag to try and fill. I had some this morning. I had one. I thought I was in the right place at the right moment, and I don't know which direction he went, but it wasn't where I was. And
yeah.
So I'm going to go see if I can find him. This evening. But I've got a day left after tonight.
Okay. Well, don't tell me you're shooting. Are you using a 270 per chance on those mule deer?
Not this time.
Okay.
I'm borrowing a rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. You using what they've got sighted in. The reason I mention that is one of my heroes, and probably Wade's too, Mr. Jack O'Connor, all about a 270, wasn't he, Wade? That's what he put on the map, Well, so hopefully you'll make connection. I want to thank you too, Wade. It's kind of a sideline, but a very interesting one to me. Through you, I met Mr. Bart Price that owns a ranch. It's so ironic in Red River County, Texas, where you just hunted. I think Mr. Roger Ragland, y'all hunted together a few weeks ago. But believe it or not, I've talked to Bart quite a bit, and I'm going to go up and I think the term is help him with a doe. He's got to remove some, manage some does in early February. But I'm going to go up there and do maybe a big bore air gun hunt with him. But I was raised, Wade, 10 miles from that ranch. It's Red River. It's north of Clarksville. You probably went through Clarksville there. But it sounds like a great ranch that he's got. He seems just... Of course, I haven't been there yet, but I've talked to you, and I've spent a lot of time, probably talked to him for 45 minutes to Bart. But I'm going to book a hunt with him next year for a whitetail. We've got that in the plans. I think he shot all of his bucks out, his quota this year, his hunters have,
Yeah.
But y'all had some good hunts there a few weeks ago, didn't you?
We did, and Bart runs a really great operation. It's a super place. I was going to take my son with me, but he ended up being too good at wrestling this year and got involved in a wrestling commitment. So I had to let him stay home so he could make some tournaments. But that was the original plan. But that was my second trip there, and I plan to make several more.
Well, maybe next year we could, if all the stars came together, we could get there at the same time. I'd love to spend some time with you, and I really could pick your brain around a hunting camp, Learn, but as far as your, clients, Africa, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be in South Africa, actually, myself, with my wife and my son, Justin, in March. We're actually recouping the trip that we didn't get to do literally the night that they called the closures of borders when COVID started.
Yeah.
And it's taken this long to get the time to finally do it. But I'm going to make a trip back there and to South Africa in March, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, I bet. Will you plains game, or will you be hunting a mixture of all kind of animals?
Well, you'll probably laugh. We're going to do a little plains game, but my son and I are excited because we're going to hunt ducks and geese, and we're going to fish. We're going to fish for Florida strain largemouth bass.
Yeah. I love to hunt. Maybe 51%, but I do love to fish. And as an old outdoor writer, and we've got a lot of good fishing here in Texas too. You know that, but I do about equal parts fishing and hunting. What I want to do is make sure, Wade, and connect everybody with your service. There's people listening all over all our great radio stations, but then it becomes a podcast, Catfish Radio. And I know there's people that would like to plan a trip to Sonora or wherever, but it's a daunting task to say, I think I want to go to wherever. And to be frank, it's kind of a shot in the dark unless you have a connection. That's my thoughts. But how do they reach you to learn more about, what you do?
Well, I am on Facebook, and I am on Instagram, and I do have a website, which is crosshairconsulting.com. Right now, that's being revamped. It's a little bit of a placeholder, but it does have my contact. My cell is 406-439-8512. Yeah. And my email is Wade, WADE, at crosshairconsulting.com.
Yeah, Wade at crosshairconsulting.com. Well, I tell you what, our Starlink connection's holding up pretty good. I was a little dubious if we were going to be able to visit here by phone, but we have. Wade, thank you so much, buddy, for being with us, and I look forward to maybe we can actually get together and do some hunting one of these times.
I'd like that very much. No, I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm glad we were able to connect here for a little bit, and I'll keep you posted. Hopefully that Buck and I find each other again.
You betcha. Well, good luck. For about the past decade, I've been hunting editor for Airgun Hobbyist magazine. I think the only magazine devoted strictly to airgun shooting and hunting in the country. Well, in that length of time, I've learned quite a bit about big bore air guns and smaller calibers too. A spot to go to that if you're interested in air guns, you need to know about Pyramid Air. The website is PYRAMYD, pyramidair.com. They have anything and everything you need, from the guns themselves, the big bores or the smaller calibers, to the accessories. Just remember pyramidair.com, and there's a number when you get on the website if you need to call and talk to somebody. Give them a buzz, and they can fill you in on little details that you might need to know about shooting or hunting with big bore air guns.
The snowflakes fall as winter comes, and time just seems to fly.
Friends, this segment is brought to us by CVA muzzleloaders. In my opinion, the very best muzzleloaders in the world, the ones that I shoot. You can check them out online, cva.com. Coues Wild Game Processing and Coues Restaurant in Dallas, and Vineyard Max, maker of some awesome deer attractant and some very fine game feeders and fish feeders, located down in Nacogdoches, Texas. Check them out at vineyardmax.net. Folks, I want to introduce you to some good friends of mine at Dash for Cash Pawn Shop in Seagoville, Texas, located at 133 Hall Street. The phone number is 972-287-3121. Go by there and talk with Gary or Randy, the owner. They're great people. They've got some great prices. Again, that's the Dash for Cash Pawn Shop, Seagoville, Texas, 972-287-3121. Well, friends, this is Luke. I hope you've enjoyed our show thus far. I always enjoy all of our guests. I learn something from each and every one of them. Let's talk a little bit about big bore air guns, shooting and hunting with big bore air guns. Now, for about, 11 years or so, I've been hunting editor for the only air gun magazine in the country, the only national air gun magazine that I'm aware of. It's called Air Gun Hobbyist. And I've had a chance to shoot and hunt with just about all the big bore air rifles. Not all of them, I'm sure, but many of them, let's put it that way. So if you're thinking about hunting with big bore air guns, let me tell you, there's plenty of powerful guns out there on the market that will do the job for you. And yes, they will cleanly harvest deer-sized game and anything that's legal. I guarantee you, the air rifles are made today to cleanly harvest them. Now, you're going to wonder if you're really not schooled in air rifles, or modern day, I should say, the PCP. These are the rifles that are pressured up with a compressor or an air tank. And you're not going to go to the local box store probably and find any of these. There might be some exceptions, but most of them you're going to need to go to a company that makes them. Pyramid Air is what I call a one-stop shop for everything air gun related. You could go online to PYRAMYD, pyramidair.com, and there you can find all the, I'm going to mention a few big bores that I've hunted with, the big bore air rifles, and maybe you can find them all at Pyramid Air. It's just a great company and a great way to order your anything related to air guns. Not only air guns, but all kind of outdoor products there at Pyramid Air. But one of my first big bore air gun that I really started hunting with was made by Air Force Air Guns. It was a Texan 45 caliber. I hunted several years. I hunted with it before there was a deer season, a legal deer season, for hunting with big bore air guns. I killed quite a few exotics. I even shot an aoudad with it, with that 45 caliber. Several axis deer and many hogs with it. So that was the first one that I really used. Now, so Air Force Air Guns still makes the Texan. They also make a new one. It's called the Tex Rex. It's a 51 caliber air gun, very powerful. Pressure's up to 4,500 psi. A lot of pressure. So that's the top end as far as pressure, and that's just a very powerful big bore air gun. There's no question about that, and a well-made one too. Now, I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite air guns to hunt with is a Seneca Dragon Claw 50 caliber. Now, this rifle pressures up to 3,000. It's not as powerful as it's one of these heavy duty ones that's pressuring up to 4,500 psi, but it will get the job done. It's one of my favorites to hunt hogs with, and I'll say, people ask me about what range do you like to shoot. Closer the better. I like to think of my air gun hunting an extension to bow hunting. I would never shoot a white-tailed deer at 50 or 60 yards with a compound bow, but I have no problem cleanly harvesting one with a big bore air gun. So the Seneca Dragonclaw, it's a conventional looking air rifle, wooden stock. It's a traditional looking rifle. It just looks like a rifle. It really does. But it's I wouldn't be taking 75-yard shots at deer with it. Quite sure with a perfect shot you could cleanly harvest them, but I keep all my shots with my Seneca Dragonclaw on deer-size animals 50 yards or in, and they do very well. I hunt hogs a lot at night with my Seneca Dragonclaw. I have a scope, have it topped with an ATN scope, and that's a lot of fun. Now, I shoot my hogs. I don't take long shots. I don't take running shots. I like to sneak in there at night with my thermal within 40 yards, maybe 50, but I bet I've killed more at 35 yards than I have at anything. To get downwind and get that thermal on, I usually use a little ATN spotter where I can see what's going on out there with a thermal, and then sneak in there downwind. To me, that's a whole lot of fun. And then shoot them with that Seneca Dragonclaw. You can put a thermal on any of these scopes that I'm telling you about. So the Seneca Dragonclaw, one of my all-time favorites. It's actually the Dragonclaw 2. It's an improved version of the old model. They're all Seneca Dragonclaw 2s now, and there's even a tactical model, a Seneca Dragonclaw Tactical. And it looks like a tactical rifle, has a Picatinny rail on top and all that. So there's one you want to look at. Not as powerful as some of the other ones that pressure up to 4,500, but quite powerful enough to hunt deer and hogs and things like that, and exotics within reasonable range. I'm going to say 50 yards for me. There are those that shoot a lot farther out, but I just don't. That's my limitations. Umarex makes some good products. The Primal 20, I've had some experience with it. It's actually a 62 caliber, 20 gauge barrel, if you will, and it shoots what looks like a rifle slug. Big bullet there with a plastic cup on the bottom of it. And I wouldn't think that would be a long-range gun. I don't know. You could scope it. I actually have a Stealth Vision red dot on mine, and I shoot it out to 50, 60 yards with that red dot. Shoot it, and always keep about a 4-inch group out to about 60 yards, which is plenty good for hunting. So there's one, the Primal 20. It loads with a magazine. It has two slugs in it, that you put in there, and you just slide it. When you shoot one, you can shoot the other one pretty fast. Have it there. The Umarex hammer, it's kind of the same thing. It loads with two. You can call them pellets, but how are you going to call a 380-something grain bullet a pellet? It's just a big hunk of lead. But the hammer is another really good Umarex hammer. So there's some that I have used a lot. We're strictly talking big bore. You can get all kind of smaller calibers, 22, 25. We'll talk about them another time. We don't have time to go into that today. Just a little time at the end of our show here to talk. But you'll need, go to pyramidair.com and just browse around. You'll need some way to pressure these things. And there's air tanks, but if you just buy an air tank, you have to have some way to pressure that. Check out the compressors. They're lightweight. They work on AC, DC. Most of them do, and that's all I use. I don't even use an air tank. I'll pressure the thing up before a hunt, and they're always, regardless of which one you're using, it's always good for plenty of pressure for 2 or 3 strong shots. Some of them, like the Dragonclaw, I can shoot it 5 times with about the same pressure. So that'll help you out. You might want to consider, starting off and getting you a compressor. They're not all that expensive. They used to be hard to find a good compressor, but now there's a lot of them on the market. You can find them all there at pyramidair.com. Folks, I was glad to squeeze this little bit of information in. I've been wanting to tell you about the PCP air guns. Just remember, that's how you find them. Go to an air gun specialty company, pyramidair.com. I don't think you can beat them because I've worked with them for years. And look into it. Most states now, definitely probably where you're listening on the radio, all the states down this way have air gun seasons for deer. So check them out. Folks, I hope you enjoyed our show very much. I've had a ball. Looking forward to this new year and lots more outdoor hunting and fishing talk and fun. Folks, that about wraps our show up for this week. I've enjoyed being with you, and I hope you had a good time, too. And, folks, we're also brought to you by the Choctaw Hunting Lodge up in southeast Oklahoma, located about, 45 minutes west of Hugo, Oklahoma, owned by the Choctaw Nation. It's about 45,000 acres of awesome mountain, country, hills, valleys, loaded with game. Lots of eastern turkey, and they do eastern turkey hunts if you're looking for a spot to hunt turkey in the spring.